Leading the way on CoachesAid.com, Stephen Davies from Memorial Stadium in Napa as a clash of two 1-0 teams here in the California Developmental Football League. The Napa Valley Vipers 1-0 with a 10-8 victory over the Solano Hornets last week. Hosts the California Rogue of San Ramon, a team looking to get their 2015 campaign underway after a forfeit last week against the South Bay Gold. Should be an entertaining matchup here between the Vipers and the Rogue coming up next on CoachesAid.com.
Yes, 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 yes! Yes! We did it! Yes, we did! Yeah, see you, bud. Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
This new Egg White Delight McMuffin is really good.
And it's 260 calories.
Maybe there are other ways we can better ourselves.
5, 6, 7, 8! Don't give up. Push, push. Hey, guys. You coming to Ab Annihilation?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
McDonald's new Egg White Delight McMuffin. 100% egg whites and melted white cheddar on a muffin made with 8 grams of whole grain. The simple joy of a new morning.
Five oceans. 7 continents. Whatever it takes. Wherever it takes us. America's Navy. A global force for good.
It was an intense game, but that's what makes it all the more fun to play.
Keep working hard and encouraging each other and staying positive.
And it keeps us motivated to keep going and to keep persevering towards the top, because that's what sports is all about.
Leading the way on CoachesAid.com, it's a matchup of two 1-0 teams in the second week of the 2015 California Developmental Football League season. Stephen Davies here from Memorial Stadium in Napa. It's the host Napa Valley Vipers, a 10-8 winner over the Solano Hornets last week against the California Rogue, a team looking to get their 2015 campaign underway as they took a forfeit victory last week over the South Bay Gold. Should be an entertaining matchup between the Vipers and the Rogue coming up on coachesaid.com in just a matter of moments. Week 2 of the California Developmental Football League season. And our travels take us to Memorial Stadium in Napa on a beautiful April Saturday afternoon. A matchup of two 1-0 teams, the Napa Valley Vipers versus the California Rogues. Stephen Davies, pleased to be with you on CoachesAid.com. The Rogue just looking, as we mentioned at the top of the show, to get their season underway. They were scheduled to play the South Bay Gold last Sunday at Doherty Valley High School in San Ramon, but a late forfeit by the South Bay Gold resulted in a 6-0 forfeit victory for the Rogue. By contrast, Napa Valley locked up in a tight one with the Solano Hornets last Saturday. Napa Valley opened the first quarter with a safety and then took a 10-0 lead into the half with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And they were able to hold on as the Hornets scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion of their own in the third quarter to hang on with a 10-8 victory. An upset, some say, to open their account with a victory. So, looks like we'll be starting a little bit after 4 o'clock as the Rogue are completing their pregame preparations. The Vipers here over on the near side of the field look like they are all set to go. We can give you the coaches for both teams, beginning with the California Rogue, the visitors from San Ramon, the head coach A.J. Williams. The offensive coordinator will be Bill Carlin, the defensive coordinator Brandon Bell. Their offensive line coach is Socrates Vergara. As for the Vipers, the head coach Ivan Versick, the offensive coordinator Michael Aliff, the defensive coordinator, the aforementioned Ivan Versick, the wide receivers and defensive backs coach Patrick Rodriguez, special teams and running backs Cade Blackwelder, and the line coach will be Mitch Riab. So, crowd filing in. Again, a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Napa, and it's time for some spring football action here on CoachesAid.com leading the way. We'll take another short break, and we'll be back with you for the kickoff coming up here from Memorial Stadium in Napa. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, 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 yes! Yes! We did it! Yes, we did! See you, bud. Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Back with you live on CoachesAid.com. Stephen Davies from Napa Valley Memorial Stadium. A beautiful spring afternoon. Really could not ask for better conditions. It's a little windy here. Wind blowing from north to south here at the Napa Valley Memorial Stadium. And the California Rogue are completing their final pregame warm-ups. And we'll be set to go here. Week 2 of the California Developmental Football League. Let's recap then the opening weekend of the California Developmental Football League. Winners and losers, the East Valley Bandits and the Alameda County Knights, the two top teams on point differential after week 1. The Bandits crushing the Stanislaus County Cardinals 70-6. The Alameda Knights, the main rivals, if you like, of this California Rogue team, also an impressive victory as well as they took it to Santa Cruz, with the Knights defeating the Gladiators 48-14. The Central Coast Barnstormers, the established team out of Gilroy, a 40-20 victory over their local rivals, the San Jose 49ers. And the Sacramento Wildcats, and perhaps the best game of the weekend, a 28-20 victory over the Marin Pride. As we mentioned, the Vipers taking that 10-8 victory over the Solano Hornets, and the Rogue winning, of course, by forfeit. We're ready for the national anthem, so we'll take a short break here on CoachesA.com. We're back, and we are ready for some football here on CoachesA.com. The national anthem is in the books, and now the two sets of captains will come out to meet at the center of the field for the coin toss. And we'll give you the captains first for the host Napa Valley Vipers. Number 47 will be Nelson Saldivar. Number 77 will be Cale Lorenz. Number 88 will be Levi Smith. Number 59, Carlos Lopez. Number 76, Miguel Vargas. And number 99, Roman Cruz. And the captains for the visiting California Rogue. Number 52, Josh Horton, also the general manager of this Rogue organization. Number 99, one of the stars of the Rogue team, Chris Lill Jr., the former Cal Bear. And I'll give you the other two captains here in just a moment when I have a chance to see their numbers. Looks like one of them is Javier Scooby. He's wearing number 18. So 9 captains in total for 15-minute quarters. So they play by the NFHS college rules here. And the officials going over the instructions for the two teams. And we'll have the coin toss here momentarily from our referee. So the Rogue will receive to start the game, and Napa Valley will defend the north end zone. So just awaiting the confirmation from the referee. It is indeed the Rogue will receive. The Vipers will kick off, and the Vipers will defend the north end zone here as the crowd files in on a windy but clear Saturday afternoon. Spot of rain supposed to head our way to the San Francisco Bay Area, but luckily this game should remain dry for its duration. So it's been a long time coming for the California Rogue, the defending champions. Last year, of course, part of the United Football Alliance, defending their crown here in 2015 as the CDFL has added 6 teams to make a total of 12 from the 6 teams that were part of last year's UFA that have stayed on to play in the CDFL. The team that the Rogue beat in the final of the UFA's championship last year, the now Central Valley Raiders, opting to play in the San Joaquin Valley Football League. The Rogue had a tough preseason going 1-2, but played some top-class competition along the way, losing to the Pacific Islanders 20-18. Also playing the South Beach Outlaws, a team out of Antioch. Team also in the West Coast Football Alliance. Ready to go then on a Saturday afternoon here in Napa. And the Vipers set to kick off. The Vipers in the white uniforms with the purple and luminous green trim. And it will be Jose Rudy Herrera, number 94, to kick off, with 2 players back deep for the Rogue to the far side, Chris Little Jr. to the near side, Aaron Horns. We're all set to go on CoachesAid.com, and we're underway from Memorial Stadium. This kick will take a hop right around the 10 and go out of bounds right around the 15. Flags fly as the kickoff goes out of bounds. And I think the Rogue will just accept the penalty here and take over on 1st and 10. So the Rogue losing just the 1 game last year to the Reno Demolition, looking to make it an unbeaten season here in 2015 for the defending champions, now based at Doty Valley High School in San Ramon. The starting quarterback, Raymond Pinkerson. We'll get a look at him here this afternoon. And had a chance to talk with offensive coordinator Bill Collin, a man with 22 years experience in the semi-professional game, a 14-time championship winner, 12 as a coach, 2 as a player. And we can expect a lot of different looks from his offense here. He'll come out with a pistol set with receivers to each side. Pinkerson, easily identifiable by the pink towel hanging from his waist. Takes a low snap, drops back, looking to throw downfield on 1st down for his receiver. It is tipped away. Nice play by Leo Perez. The intended target was Martel Scoggins Sr. And I'll bring up a 2nd down. So the Rogue wastes no time going to the air. And as Pinkerson displaying his arm, firing downfield. But a nice defensive effort from Perez to tip that away from the receiver. 2nd down and 10. So we'll have the big fullback, Alan Webster, behind Pinkerson, who's under center here. Receivers to either side on 2nd and 10. Nice sidestep there by Jerome Steele. Can't break a 2nd tackle. This is a good start for the Napa Valley defense. Steele tried to cut to the right, forced back to the left, and was greeted by a number of Viper tacklers there. A loss of 2 on the play brings up a 3rd and 12. So an incomplete pass on 1st down. A loss of 2 on the carry by Steele. And it's 3rd and 12 now for the Rogue. Scoggins Sr., the receiver left side. Jakari Murphy, wearing number 12. He'll line up to the right side. Vipers in the dime. Pinkerson rolls out. Has Steele in the flat, looks downfield, looking for his receiver, and it's tipped away again. Another nice defensive play. Nelson Saldivar, the player, getting his hand up and knocking the pass away from the tight end, Ryan Jordan, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Jordan, a man they would like to open up the middle of the field with, and Saldivar scrambling, but was able to get the right hand up and tip the pass away. Saldivar will drop back into kick return coverage here for the Vipers. And the kicking unit on for the Rogue. A couple of deep passes there from Raymond Pinkerson. And now they have a little trouble handling the punt. The kick comes off one of the blockers and it's recovered by Napa Valley. Tremendous field position here. A low snap. The punter had a hard time handling the ball. His kick came back off one of the Vipers special teams players. And the loose ball is recovered by Napa Valley, and now they have a chance early on here in the first quarter with just 1 minute and 3 seconds gone to take the lead here at home. Not the start that Coach A.J. Williams was looking for from his rogue squad. And the Vipers have a chance to get on the board here first. The Vipers have 3 quarterbacks listed on the roster. And they're going to go with number 6, Gregory Smith. You'll have Jose Rodriguez and Scott Primo lining up alongside. It's a handoff to Rodriguez up the gut, but maybe back to the line of scrimmage. He'll bring up a 2nd down. Two of the players to watch out for in this Napa, or California Rogue defense, number 52, Josh Horton, the starting middle linebacker, and Chris Lowell Jr. plays that sort of outside linebacker and strong safety role if needed. No gain on that previous play. 2nd down and 10, 13:26 to go in the first quarter of play. A 3 and out and then a muff punt by the Rogue. It's given an opportunity now to the Vipers to strike first, and that's a tremendous tackle by the Rogue. That was number 19 for the Rogue, unfortunately not listed on my roster. We will try and find out the player's name at the half, but he makes a fine tackle, a loss of 2 yards, brings up a 3rd down and 12. So a couple handoffs inside from the Vipers to open their first possession of the day, and they'll send a trio of receivers, 2 to the right and 1 to the left. Ortega in the slot. To the right, they send a man in motion. That's Darren Jones. Here is Smith rolling right, and a pass across the middle, underthrown, and almost intercepted by Horton. That's going to bring up a 4th down. So Smith rolling to his right, had to throw back across his body and just couldn't find his target as the pass was underthrown by a couple of yards. And it's certainly within field goal range here. This is about a 36-yard kick for Jose Rudy Herrera. A chance to put the Vipers on the board and give them the lead with 2.5 minutes gone in the first quarter of play. Jeff Creamer will be the holder. Snap is good. Kick is up and on its way. And it is good. So the Vipers take full advantage of the muff punt attempt by the California Rogue, and the Vipers, thanks to Herrera, are on the board here 3-0 with 12:25 to go in the first quarter of play. So we'll see if Coach Williams can get his offense going here after 2 long passes downfield on that first possession, both nice defensive efforts by the Vipers. Didn't have a lot going on the one running play they had with Jerome Steele. So Herrera will kick. His first kickoff attempt of the game went out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. Again, Chris Lowell Jr. to the far side and Aaron Horns, to the near side for the Rogue. The Vipers in the lead 3-0. Here in the first quarter of play. And again, the kickoff sails to the far side of the field and goes right out of bounds right around the same side of the field as well. So Caleb Montecalvo is here. Had a little trouble with the traffic too, I see, man. It was a bit of a tough one getting out here this afternoon.
You know what? It definitely is a beautiful drive out here. Napa, wine country here in California. But thanks for bringing me on, and I apologize to everyone for being a little tardy here. But nonetheless, we are in for a good matchup today between the Napa Valley Vipers and California Rogue.
Pinkerton under center will turn and hand off to Steele. Steele cuts to his left, shrugs off a tackle, almost breaks the second one before he's brought down right around the 45-yard line. Nelson Saldivar making the tackle for the Vipers.
So the ball on the 45-yard line. And the referee signals for the first down. So the chains are moving here. And the Rogue on the ball. And so Raymond waiting for the snap. He has 2 in the eye set behind him. Looks to be a handoff, and it will be up the gut. He has some room to run. He's going to bounce it outside. Can he beat the last defender? He's going to have some trouble, and he gets knocked about the 10-yard line, but that's a breakaway run.
Flags fly right around the 35. Boy, that Jerome Steele is not someone you want to break or bring down the ground when he's at full speed.
You know, I definitely enjoyed seeing him hit the hole at 100% there. He was flying, but unfortunately there is some laundry on the field, so it looks like it may be coming back here. Rogue going to make a few substitutions here, so after that great run, Steele's going to go ahead and take a seat, and they're going to bring in number 14. Well, that's the quarterback, obviously, and 22 to take his spot. So that's June Tunica in the backfield doing some work for Steele, giving him a breather. So what would have been at the 10-yard line comes all the way back to the 40. They broke the 50-yard line barrier, I guess you could say, but they're out of the red zone, so that is unfortunate for the Rogue.
Oh, did you see a call by the official there?
You know, I didn't see a call.
No, I didn't either. I was looking.
They didn't signal here, but I'm assuming it may have been a holding call or something around the spot of the foul. So, nonetheless, Pinkston going to calm down, maybe check an audible or didn't get the hard count. So he's going to take a quick one step back for the screen pass, but that gets eaten up on the far side by Kane Elliott. So he read that play. Very good read on that defensively to make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. So they're going to be 4 yards back, about 14 to the first down marker. It's second down.
Jakari Murphy had to climb the ladder to reel in that high throw from Pinkston, and, well, Kane Elliott dropped the, really brought the hammer down on him there.
So both teams coming into this matchup with a 1 victory into the season. So, you know, they both want to keep that streak alive. And I think this is going to be some proving grounds here for both teams. And look at that, as I believe that's Tunica making his way, tough fight to the back to the first down marker. There's still going to be 10 yards to go, it looks like, here on third down. So a big third down. What are you thinking here?
Well, I don't know. They've had the 2 passes on the first possession that were certainly had the distance and the elevation, but just really well covered by the Vipers defense. I look to see him pass here, but Tunica there reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew, the way he was ducking and diving and wheeling and dealing there.
You know, I think Steele may have the body type of Maurice, a little bit more molded wise, but you know, Tunica had the finesse there and that put his head down and kept driving. So here's the Rogue, third down, 10 yards to go. Here's the drop back. It is going to be a pass. He's rolling out to the right side. He looks to run up the sideline. Maybe not a wise decision, as they're going to have to get a few yards, but it's going to be fourth down. So kicking a field goal here will test the skills of their kicker if they choose to do so, but it looks like they're going to keep the offensive unit on the field.
Well defended that time by the Vipers. They had plenty of players back in coverage, and although Tunica was out there in the flat to block for Pinkston, just nowhere to run.
You know, and I like to, I know I came in a tad late here, but out of the passes that they've thrown, they haven't been as successful as that breakaway run. They've established the run game, and I think they need to continue to stick with it. However, it's going to be fourth down, so it looks like they're going to go for the long ball. They got about 7 yards left, and in the shotgun formation, two backs with them, 2 out wide, 1 to each side. He's going to have some time in the pocket, lots of time. He has time to make the throw, and there's the catch as the defenders collide into each other, allowing number 85 to come up with that grab for the California Rogue, and that was Ryan Jordan.
Yeah, he's the man they want to open up the middle of the field with there. You saw, even though he was double-teamed, defenders bouncing off him, tough hands to reel that in. That's a great catch.
Well, on that offensive line, given the quarterback very, very comfortable amount of time to make that pass, set his feet, follow through with the hand. So a good pass and catch to get the first down on 4th. And it's a fumble at the line. A little miscommunication on the snap is going to cause Pinkerton to dive on that. Luckily, they come up 2nd down. No gain or loss on the play.
Gene Jr. is the center there for California Rogue, and just a little bit of a mishap on the snap, but Pinkerton alertly able to dive on it.
And you do expect, being the 2nd game of the season, they're still working out some of the kinks, being that, this is fairly new. The guys are coming together here, and they probably had a few weeks of practice thus far. However, still ironing out those wrinkles, as it seems, in between the center and the quarterback. So here it looks like to be a handoff, and it will to Steele. And look, he can put his head down, and Frank Gore, if you will, some defenders. He's going to cut it back inside, and that's in the end zone with some fancy footwork by Steele.
Boy, well, he is on a mission we've already seen, and like you said it early in the drive. I mean, he's at full speed within 2 or 3 steps, and you saw the difficulty these Vipers defenders had bringing him down. And well-deserved touchdown run from Jerome Steele.
And so he gets another one. I mean, he had the breakaway from across the 50 to get to the 10-yard line. Then he was able to punch that one and doing all the work here. The pass game is not looking too strong thus far. So stick with the run game. Give it to Steele. It looks like the game plan is just that, and you're going to score. So 6-3 before the point after. And that's going to be a low one into the net, but it sails through the uprights, and that's good. 7-3, California Rogue on top. We got about 6 minutes and 56 seconds left here in the first quarter. Both teams with timeouts, all 3. And we are CoachesAid.com, the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network. Let's take a look here. Oh, well, you had to look there on the replay. Sorry for the mix-up there. And so California Rogue to kick off. So the boys in black coming off a momentum swing after Steele can just put his head down and plow through defenders.
Great way to come back after that first drive, because they really struggled, and then capped off with the muff pump attempt that the Vipers recovered. The Vipers, by contrast, they had a little trouble despite the excellent field position moving the ball. So this is going to be an interesting sequence for them on offense. Let's see if they can get a sustained drive going and try and take the lead back here against the Rogue.
And so it looks like we're going to have 2 Vipers deep. That's number 47 and I believe number 80 for the Vipers. Going to be Nelson Saldivar and Darren Jones. Darren Jones going to field this one. He muffs it. Can't get a hold of it. He's going to have to scoop it up. Now the Rogue are eating him alive. A suplex, if you will, right about the 15-yard line by number 30. That's Alan Webster.
Big fullback there, getting his tackle on downfield. And yeah, you described it. It's like someone out of WrestleMania last week.
That is one of the sporting events I wish I would have made. That seemed like it was a must-attend if you're a sports
I was there.
fan.
It was pretty cool.
Outdoor,
yeah,
in the Levi Stadium there.
I don't know about the outcome of the title match, but hey, got a chance to see Lesnar wrestle, so
yep.
I
would have been excited to see The Rock.
Yeah,
and a little Ronda Rousey action.
Good stuff, and a record crowd too. Some 76,000 people were there, so pretty crazy.
Gregory Smith here for the Vipers. Shotgun formation, 2 in the backfield, 2 out to his right, 1 to his left. He's going to take a step back, and a big block on that by number 42, Kevin Allen, coming in hot.
And you saw the pressure they brought off the weak side that time with Chris Little Jr. and Kevin Allen, and really it was only a great block by I think one of the Vipers running backs to stop Chris Little Jr. from getting in there as well. But they're going to put the pressure on Smith right here, I think, with a chance to take over the ball with great field position.
And so Smith having to regroup. He does seem to have some height, but he just couldn't get over Kevin Allen coming in quick on that far side, seemingly untouched.
Boy, the Rogue is stacking the box here. Look at this.
That'll leave the line. Oh, and they got him on the hard count. Everyone on the Rogue seemed to have crossed the line, and the discipline of the Vipers seemed to pay off there. So they're going to move the ball at least 5 with some smiles coming from their sideline here.
Not often you see the entire front 7 jump off sides. So nicely done by the Vipers there for sure.
And you know what? That is, this early on in the season to see the discipline from the Vipers, they've been doing that in practice. They've definitely practiced the hard count as none of them flinched. So in the shotgun formation, 2 in the backfield, 1 out wide to the left and 2 to the right. Tight twins formation. Smith's going to snap the ball. He gets it. Looks to run, Colin Kaepernick style, but he's going to get dragged down by the collar by number 99, another big player. That's Chris Little Jr.
Former Cal player is, giving an example of what he can do with that outside linebacker position. He was not going to let the running back by and drags him down to the ground.
So, California Rogue is posing some difficulty here for the Vipers, minus the anticipation on jump, getting that 5-yard penalty call. So Smith once again looking to stay in that same shotgun formation, 2 in the backfield, 2 twins to the right, and 1 out to the left. Another hard count, and they're going to get him again. Free play here, but he's going to get eaten up at the line, so they'll take the 5 yards.
And the Vipers' struggles on offense continues. You've seen, the penalties have been the only thing that's really helped them so far move the ball downfield. And again, a run snuffed out with maybe a gain of a yard. The penalty will help, of course, but the struggles continue moving the ball for the Vipers here on offense.
So, as the coach, what do you say here? If you're running into this problem, how do you come back from this? Your run game's getting swallowed at the line. Your pass game gets batted down at the 10-yard line. You're having trouble moving it into some territory where you can play. What do you say to your team? What's the game plan?
Hard to say, really. I think the Rogue are disappointed that they've given up the 3 points as it was, admittedly on an offensive mistake, but the way they've come out and established themselves here on the second Vipers possession shows that they mean business. Try and limit the mistakes, and if they can draw them off with the hard count, then go for it, I say.
Going to send a man in motion here. He's going to stay at the line to block, giving some time for the slant route, but number 82 heard footsteps, and couldn't come down with the high ball. That was Gabe Brewer making that slant route, just running a little timid. He got bumped at the line, knew he had to cut in, got fed right into the linebacker, and you know who's at the linebacker position for the Rogue. That's Chris Little Jr., and, high ball like that coming down, he may be in the area. I'd probably flinch too. It's a big boy.
Yeah, that's the kind of pass, unfortunately, you have to catch. Despite being double covered, still a good throw from Smith all the same.
2nd and 10, ball at the 30-yard line. After they're getting some redemption here with the penalties. And there's a pass. He's going to have to roll out to his side on the right, and that's batted down. Great defense by number 21 there, Riddick Williams. Diving out there, takes a look at number 3, Jose Rodriguez, playing a little tough. And I definitely like to see that, competitiveness and that competitive spirit come out. It's early on in the season, still in the first quarter. So, they got past the jitterbugs, 5 minutes and 26 seconds left here in the first to play. But I definitely like, them a little friendly banter back and forth.
It's a big 3rd down right here, though. This is, the Vipers got to establish some offensive rhythm. This is the time to do it right here.
So that's going to be Darren Jones and Kevin Robledo here on the near side. Number 82 in motion. He's going to look out there. And another high pass by Smith trying to get it to Jose Rodriguez. And, he had time. Obviously, he had that pressure, the consistent pressure he's had all game. He's going to have to make some changes and adjust, because it doesn't seem like the California Rogue defense is going to let up anytime soon. So after that dropped pass, almost intercepted, they're going to go ahead and punt here. So they're going to welcome Mike Ortega out as the punter.
Rogue got some athletes, though, at the linebacker position. My goodness. That's what's making it so difficult for Gregory Smith and this offense so far. No matter what they do, if they throw across the middle or try short passes in the flat, the Rogue are just there to cover them every time.
And so they're going to bring the heat. The ball's muffed. It may be a safety. It looks like it'll be a safety, and it will be a safety. The flag's going to go up, and look to the main official. So things are just not going in the favor of the Vipers thus far. They just seem to lack some tenacity and some zeal as you look in the way that they're playing. I mean, one of these players has to step up and be a leader, and try to fire up the team. It's only the first quarter. You got 3 left to play. I'd like to see some camaraderie here.
Well, I think Mike Ortega did the right thing that time, knowing that there were at least 3 rogue players on his way instead of trying to dive on the ball or make something happen. He did the sensible thing and kick it right out the back of the end zone. Now the problem is, of course, his short field here for the Rogue, and we saw how efficient they were last time out. And I think the word on the sideline after giving up that first field goal to the Vipers is, we've already blown the chance to shut these guys out. Let's see if we can keep them off the board the rest of the way. And it's going to be a tough task now for this Vipers defense to try and keep the Rogue out of their half of the field with a short field here on the kickoff.
And so back, and back some more. Will the Vipers move to punt this away after that safety? Good awareness play, heads up by the kicker there, Mike Ortega, exactly as you said, to get it out. And just taking a look here at the California Rogue, I mean, they have been flying to the ball the entire first quarter here, and I think one way that the Vipers may have in is if they can outrun them and gas them out, because they're coming at such a high intensity that, I think conditioning and fatigue may play part this early on in the season. Some of the players are not at the peak level as they will be mid-season. So if, we'll see if the Napa Valley Vipers can show that conditioning side as matched by their discipline as they got them to jump a few times. Punt to about the 50-yard line, going to be muffed as he tried to catch it with his hands, roll out of bounds on the far side. Chris Little Jr., I guess that's why he plays defense.
Well, a pretty decent kick all the same, about 36, 37 yards or so. And while the roster size is pretty comparable, I think the Rogue have maybe a couple more players. But, it's not like the Rogue have 55 players and the Vipers have 30. So we'll see if Coach Ivan Versick here and his staff for Napa Valley will make some substitutions as the game goes on. But based on what I've seen over the first almost 10 minutes of the game now, the Rogue look like they're in pretty good shape. And like I said, with the forfeit last week, these guys have had an extra week to stew and get themselves ready for this game.
So Jerome Steele back in the single back formation. 2 to our near side, 1 to the far, and there's going to be a handoff. Everybody kind of stopped at the line, but he's going to get stormed in the backfield, dropped by number 99 for Napa. That's Roman Cruz.
Those guys had an encounter on the first possession with Cruz bringing down Steele for a loss of yards. He repeats the feat here. That's a good way to start this possession for Napa Valley defensively.
So Pinkerton going to have to go back into the huddle, regroup, send his boys back out.
I'm going to keep an eye on Ryden Jordan here. See if he can stretch the field here for the Rogue.
Shotgun formation. 1 in the backfield. And that's going to be a definite pass. He has some time. And the ball gets stripped away by number 27, Daniel Dolan.
And Pinkerton recovered the ball and then some jawing after the play. Well, that's one way certainly the Vipers can get themselves back in the game. They can force mistakes from the Rogue offensively.
And on the scoreboard, I mean, they're only down 6 points, so I wouldn't sweat it too much here, being that it is, still the first quarter. There's time. I mean, it's not even a full touchdown, including the PAT. It is only a touchdown. The 6-point differential here. Pinkerton to take the line. He has Steele in the backfield. He's going to they look pretty comfortable back there. It looks like they've been playing together for a while. You know, they got that swagger, if you will, in the backfield, and they got the time in the pocket to, you know, set the feet and make something happen. Here's Pinkston dropping back. He's going to set his feet. Has time to throw. In and out of bounds. Caught by Martin Scoggins.
Plenty of time for Pinkston to throw that. Scoggins over on the far side was plenty of space. Tiptoes the line and makes a nice catch. Short of the first down, but certainly will give the Rogue an idea of here whether or not they want to go for it. Certainly that sort of no man's land, I think it's worth a chance here.
4th down in the middle of the field. I don't see, you know, they've been dominating offensively, and I think they had that fumble, which kind of set them back. But, hey, looks like they're set to punt here. So, going to try and coffin kick here. The bounce after the snap, and so that's going to make the punter rush it. They're going to field the punt at about the 25-yard line. He's going to take a few steps back. He's number 47. Jukes the first defender. Breaks out of an arm tackle. Going to come to the near side, run to his sideline, and a great block by Zero. And he's going to take it out of bounds, but some great blocking downfield to make that great fancy footwork, I like to say, and some shifty moves there by number 47, Nelson Saldivar, to, you know, get his team some great starting position here.
He got a couple of great blocks. The first one was from Kane Elliott. He threw that initial block that allowed him to spring back to the middle, and then Levi Smith got stuck in with another block. And I think Saldivar there, Caleb, just got a little overexcited, and you saw him stumble, and the ball popped right out of his hands. Luckily, the Vipers maintained possession.
And the Rogue thinking they can arm tackle. Well, that's not the case here. I mean, you know, these kids have been playing football for a little while, almost their lives, I would assume, you know. And so the arm tackles out of the first level is fundamentals you don't do on special teams and on defense. And that's just what happened. Some good blocks and some great yardage pickup there after that punt. And that's a draw play or a quick snap, I think. Trying to go up the gut.
I don't think Smith was ready for the snap there, and it's just as well that Rodriguez alertly dived to his right and was able to retrieve the ball because Smith was looking around saying, what happened? Because the Rogue is just bringing so much pressure at the line of scrimmage right now. They're really making the offensive line of the Vipers uncomfortable.
Gregory Smith having to go back into the huddle here after another kind of miscommunication. He had the fumble snap with his center and just had that miscommunication with his back. Looks like he's going to take another second to go over a play with the 2. That's number 80 running to make sure they're all on cue. Darren Jones going out wide. Only receiver in the set. Looks like they're going to have stacked the line. Another hard count. And my goodness, it is just very difficult, it seems, for the offensive line of the Vipers to hold off the speed and strength of the Rogue defensemen. I mean,
well, I mean, you see, and it's on the weak side every time. It's this time it's Kevin Johnson and Rick Simmons. They've got their hands up in the face of Smith, and I mean, he has to make a decision pretty quickly whether or not he's going to hold on the ball or just get rid of it.
And so another free play, allowing them to move the chains up there. 2nd and 10 to go. Smith is going to be in the shotgun. He needs all the time he can get. And they're firing off the ball. Draw right up the middle. And he's going to fight back to the line of scrimmage.
I mean, they had an extra tight end there on the line, and even that didn't help that time. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. But, I mean, you know, you think about the total yardage gained by this Vipers offense so far. I mean, it's got to be less than 20, I'd say. And we're almost at the end of the first quarter of play.
So Dion Ingram going to go ahead and go in for Jose Rodriguez after he looks like to be banged up a little bit, fighting back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like he got 1 on the play, so it's going to be 3rd and 9 to go. Smith in the backfield going to send his single and only receiver to the left. And he'll wait for the snap. He has time. He needs to set his feet, can be in the pocket. Gets a little nervous, and he had the time there, trying to scramble up the middle, fights back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a yard. But that's not what you want to see there from your quarterback on 3rd down. Looked to panic a little bit. Didn't really set his feet. And that's going to result in bringing the punting unit out.
I mean, he had the 2 receivers tight to the formation on the right side. That time, Kyle Raynor Harris and Levi Smith, but they were covered downfield. Great man-to-man coverage by the Rogue. And, you know, another drive stalls here for the Vipers.
So they're going to take their time getting back to the line and let the clock dwindle down. There's about 20 seconds left here and counting as the punting unit gets set. Ortega, another high snap. He's going to have to get this one off, and he has to punt it, and he can't get a foot on it. So the Vipers are going to let it roll. It's going to be in their benefit because the time's going to click down. And there's the Rogues looking to play a little bit of shoots and ladders. Trying to pitch it back and get something started is number 4, Darian Woods. Trying to feed it back to his Jakari Murphy teammate.
The punt actually ended up not being that bad, to be honest. I mean, it did squibble along the ground, but it went for about 25 yards or so, and you got to give credit to the punter because he was under some duress and had to get that kickoff on the move.
So, very fortunate on his behalf. He has just been, you know what, he's been making the best of the situations.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's playing the best hand that he can with the cards he's been dealt. I mean, the punt or the snap getting the safety, that one, the snap we just saw over his head, having to scramble out and do anything he could to kick that one away. You know, Mike Ortega doing some good things if you can. And what a pass and catch! Are you kidding me? That was Javier Scooby, I believe, on that reception. A hard post route. Going to bring up the first down. They're going to move the chains. End of the first quarter. And very impressive throw. And we're going to go ahead and take a break. We're coachesaid.com. Thanks for tuning in. This is California Rogue and the Napa Valley Vipers playing tough here as the Rogue lead 9-3. About to start the second quarter of play here in the first half. And we'll be right back.
Where's he going?
Jakari Murphy trying to go backwards, and my goodness, he's going to have some room. There looks to be a late clipping call, and after going from side to side all the way back, maybe 20 yards, he's going to get about 20 yards in return. So he covered some ground, did Jakari Murphy. My goodness, I'm not sure that's what you like to coach your athletes to do as a football coach, run backwards. But, you know, if you got the speed, and it seemed like he did, he was able to get the positive yardage. Unfortunately, there was an illegal block in the back, so this one's going to be coming back. They're going to bring it back. And,
I don't think I've ever seen a player get a first down, then run 15 yards back, and then gain the first down again on the other side of the field, but that's exactly what happened. And you got to give him credit for his vision because he saw the plays committed to the near side of the field. And it also, I think, shows you the Rogue are confident in their offensive abilities, especially with the athletes that they have. And, well, Jakari Murphy did a lot of running there, but not a whole lot of gain, unfortunately.
Take a look at the replay here. Now, and so they're going to move it back, my goodness, almost 20 yards because of the block in the back. After a scramble play, a heads-up play, by Murphy. Jakari Murphy literally scrambling all over the field to get that first down. Going to have to come back. So here's Pinkerton dropping back. He has so much time. It's unreal. And a great pass and catch downfield. And this is number 1, Martell Scoggins, just picking up his knees and driving downfield. Going to make it to the 30-yard line almost. Referees, let's see where they place the ball. It looks like more towards the 32 or 33-yard line.
And it was a 33-yard catch as well. That was on a first down and 27 play. And, boy, I'm impressed by Pinkerson's accuracy. They're hitting Scoggins Sr. in stride. And he also had players up there to block for him. Very impressive play there from the Rogue.
And Martell Scoggins is a big boy. I mean, he looks to be, well over 6'2", has some meat on his bones, and he's doing some work in the in the deep field, if you will, in his routes. And, if it's him matched against number 47, that's going to be that's Nelson Saldivar. That's going to be a matchup.
Delay a game here? Yep. First delay a game penalty of the day.
Looks like the Rogue was trying to send in some players from the sideline, a little miscommunication of which substitutes were coming on and which were coming off. So they're going to move it back after Martell Scoggins' breakaway run there. I really like the way he was moving downfield. He's a big guy. He made the catch, and he's just putting his head down and going. No fancy footwork for him. And so 5 yards minus the 10 to go will make it 15 yards to go on the first down. Here's Pinkerton going to automatically roll out to his right. Doesn't have time to set his feet, but has a man deep down the field. And Jakari Murphy, after the play we saw a few back, is on the field, misses that catch. I think it would have been in his diving capability. We saw his athleticism, but nonetheless did an attempt, could be still a bit winded from his previous run.
And what we've seen that we haven't seen from the Rogue so far on this possession is they've gone 4 wide on every play. That time they had trips to the right side, and the pass a little overthrown by Pinkerton, but Murphy's perhaps saving that for later in the season where he doesn't have to dive those extra 5 yards to reel in the touchdown grab.
Well, Murphy looks to be tired. He goes immediately to the sideline after having to run another deep route, and looks to be drinking some water and going to catch his breath before he comes back on. So trips to the near side, 1 to the far.
Again, sticking with the 4 wide set.
And they have the time to throw, and that's going to be a draw play to Steele. Steele has the room, keeping his feet moving, gets a tackle from the back, which actually assists him in moving forward. He's going to break past the 25, and looks like maybe the 24-yard line.
Mike Smith, the latest Viper to find out how difficult it is to bring Jerome Steele down once he's got a head of steam going. And as you said, dragging him forward for extra yardage, but he did eventually bring him down. But whether it's the pass or the run right now, the Rogue, after the early struggles in the first quarter, are really settling into a groove here, Caleb.
So the chain gang having to make their presence on the field to get a precise measurement. So as they do that, the officials will kind of hold the ball and give us the assessment shortly. Now we're into the ball game. We passed the first quarter. What on the two sides is the best, and what between the two sides is the worst things going on?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm really impressed with the Rogue, the linebacking core. They are just so athletic, great sideline to sideline coverage. They can drop back and pass coverage. For the Vipers, I mean, defensively they've been pretty tenacious. I mean, they've got a tough task here to stop this Rogue offense, but at times they've been able to get in the backfield and stop some runs. So let's see if they can continue here. It's a tough task for them right now, though, with a second down and short coming up, or third down and short, excuse me, and the Rogue knocking on the door of the red zone.
So it looks to be third down and about 6 inches. And the official blows the whistle, and so Pinkerton will take the snap. In the shotgun formation, he has twins to his left, twins to his right, and there's going to be another flag. And the Vipers
too many men on the field,
are clapping here. the Rogue have been plagued by penalties, but I think they're and the flag's getting waved off here, so no penalty there. But you know, the California Rogue has been plagued by penalties. I mean, you definitely have seen them get more calls against them. Yet I think their athleticism is the reason why they're on top. I mean, they've had great passing catches by Pinketon, leading the way in the quarterback position. So he's got the line. Going to get the snap, and he does, right up the gut to Steele. Steele has some blocking, but gets trapped in line, and he's going to push through for the first down. So they're going to move the chains.
And I'm assuming, because this number's not listed on the roster, that was Owens Nickings the second, who came off the strong side there, getting into the backfield and assisting Miguel Figueroa on the stop there for the Vipers. Not unfortunately enough to prevent a first down. Still a good stop nonetheless.
So once again, he has two receivers to his right and his left, one in the backfield behind him, which is Steele. Pinketon ready for the snap. The Vipers look to be showing blitz. No safeties, but they're going to play. And wide open man, Pinketon throws it to the far shoulder, and he can't get there. I believe that was number 47.
Again, player not listed on our roster here, unfortunately. And Pinketon threw that just a little bit behind his intended target. And that, for the Vipers, will slow down this Rogue offense momentarily.
So making a line change, looks to be bringing in a whole substitution of a offensive line for Pinketon, and that may be one of the reasons why he has so much time. I mean, looks if they can, you know, filter in new linemen, they're going to be well rested and be able to perform a little bit at a higher level, give their quarterback some more protection. They got some big boys up front blocking for him. He should be thankful to them. I mean, they've been a big reason why he's been able to make those passes. Pinketon has time, once again, is going to throw it, and a huge hit jars the ball out, which would have been right around the 10-yard line. I believe that was number 88, coming up strong for the Vipers, showing some life here. That's Levi Smith.
And again, I mean, you asked me about what the Vipers are doing, and that's a prime example of it right there. Good tight man-to-man coverage, letting the receiver know he's there. The throw was on target and really a catchable ball, but Levi Smith is right there making an important tackle.
So Patrick Rodriguez, the wide receiver and DB coach, real excited to see his boy making the play there, fired up on the sideline. Pinketon going to be in the shotgun set, has two to the near side there on the far hash and two here to our side. He has time, going to set his feet, going to go far corner, and tries to just put it up there to Martel Scoggins. Goes up, tries to make the one-handed catch. I would like to see him go up in high point personally. He's going to signal for a substitute to come in, but big throw there.
Malcolm Jackson with the tight coverage along the sideline, and Nelson Saldivar was over there in support. And brings up a fourth down for the Rogues. So, interesting situation here. I mean, they could kick. It's about a 39-yard field goal if they go for it here. Or do they want to bring something out of the playbook here and go for the razzle-dazzle here on fourth down?
Well, it's 4th and 10. They're on the 22-yard line. Pinketon's still in, so I'm assuming they're going to go for it here. They're very confident in their offensive game thus far, and so they're sticking with the bread and butter. Sets his feet, has unlimited time. He's going to make the throw. It's going to be short of the first down by about a yard, and so that catch by number 30, Alan Webster, going to be short of the first down. Turnover on downs, and the Vipers back on the field, led by quarterback Smith.
That's an interesting play call there from the Rogue, because they had the big fullback, Alan Webster, line up in the slot to the left side, and you had a feeling he was going to be the intended target. He got to the outside, got some separation, but was just a couple yards shy. But not often you see a fullback line up at the slot receiver position here.
So the Vipers offense has got to be happy with what their defense was able to do for them, make a stop. Let's see if they can come out on the ball and make something happen here. The defense, trying to shift momentum, and that they have, given the ball back to their counterparts. So up the gut is Ingram, I believe. and that's going to eat up about 2 yards, high stepping through the hole and then getting taken down. So it's not going to make the highlight reel, but I like to see that hard-nosed running up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Is there a flag? It looks like there's a flag over on the far side of the field.
Well, the Vipers are moving back, so I think they kind of know it could be a penalty. And it looks like the far side line judge is going to count some steps off, and that he will. A false start on the offense.
I was going to say that the Vipers, can't rely on the Rogue to make mistakes defensively, but that's going to really push him back here. That 5-yard penalty for the false start now puts them inside their own 10.
They've already given up one safety in the game. They sure wouldn't like to do it again. They sure would not. Smith has no time, going to get eaten alive by that defense. Luckily, he stays on the green, doesn't go into the blue turf, which would result in a safety, but he's going to have to throw from back there now. I don't think a run would be beneficial here for them, maybe to gain some yards out of the end zone, but that line of the California Rogue is deadly.
But again, it's the linebacker position. Crystal Jr. comes off the weak side. No one blocked him. He went straight to the quarterback, and I think he was taken down by another Rogue defender. It might have been number 28, Boom Wilson, the aptly named Boom Wilson at that. And now the Vipers are really in a pickle here on 2nd down and 22.
Just shooting through all the gaps are the linebackers of the Rogue. And they are going to run it. He's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 yards. Fighting his way through the line of scrimmage. And you like to see that. It's 3rd down, however. Oh, excuse me, 4th down. And so a big play here. They're going to have to punt it away. That's the only logical thing I see the Vipers doing here is to punt this one away. Excuse me, 3rd down. 3rd down. And so Smith in the backfield with 2. And I think those backs are there to help give him some protection. I mean, the line is coming in hot, and they need to pick up the linebackers. But the linebackers of the Rogue not showing blitz here. They're not. They're going to sit on their heels, wait for the ball. And he has his man beat, does number 80. But the overthrow by Smith. So Darren Jones had the one-on-one coverage. That was the right read and the right throw, just a little bit overthrown to the far side, as Darren Jones would have had a spectacular amount of running had that ball been on point.
Smith's going to be disappointed with that effort there on 3rd down because, as you said, he had time to throw and threw a fairly accurate pass downfield, but just threw a little behind his receiver. And now the Vipers are going to have to punt for the 3rd time, and this makes you a little nervous now with the punter in his own end zone and having to climb the ladder to retrieve the high snap. Last time, can he get the kickoff? We'll see what happens next.
So the second punt in the first half having to do, in their red zone. So, some pressure added onto Mike Ortega to punt this one deep, but also some pressure on his linemen to give him some time to put a foot on it.
A timeout taken there by the Rogue, and I don't think they had their special teams set. And Coach A.J. Williams out onto the field was not pleased at all with one of the members of his team. And again, there seems to be a little confusion as to who's supposed to be on the field here in this assignment. If anything, hopefully the confusion will benefit the Vipers here, and they'll be able to get the punt off successfully.
So Ortega about halfway into the end zone to kick this one away. He's going to need some time. They're going to bring the heat on the line, try and block this one, and they have an opportunity. He's just going to try and boot it, and that's a real high one. Going to bounce at about the 25-yard line. The Vipers get a good roll, and it's going to be at the 29-yard line where they're going to touch it, mark it down for the Rogue to pick up on offense.
And this time it was Damon Fraser. That was the man who got his hands up and got in the face of Mike Ortega. And you saw how quickly, he had to rush the kick. The snap was right in his chest, and he still barely got the kick off in time. And that's not a tremendous punt by any means. This is going to give the Rogue some excellent field position and a chance to extend their lead.
So it's almost like the Rogue didn't even, you know, have that whole last set of downs for either team. They're just starting right back where they were. So let's see if they can punch this one into the end zone.
Sorry, springtime allergies.
It's all right. I mean, we are in the hills of Napa. And so the Rogue back on the ball. I formation, going to give it to Steele. He bumps into a defensive lineman who doesn't extend their arm, so he just pushes off him, rolls out, maybe going to get 1 or 2 on the play.
I'm not sure if he bounced off him or if he pushed off him there. It was really difficult to tell, but it shows you how quickly Steele can change directions on the dime, and Miguel Vargas that time, I think, will remember for next time. Get your hands up and bring the man down for sure.
I formation once again. Here's Pinkston. Close into the center. There's a snap, and they're going to give it again to Steele. Steele, again, bounces off of the defenseman and tries to cut it in. This time he gets tackled behind the line for a loss. 3rd down.
If the linebacker wearing 0 is indeed Owens Nickens II, I mean, he didn't start, I don't think, but he's been impressive since he's come on for the Vipers. He was instrumental in that previous drive, preventing the Rogue from getting on the scoreboard, and now 2 plays in a row with no gain. Who knows? The Vipers might keep him off the board a 2nd consecutive time.
Yeah, you know what? I was just going to make point about the defense of the Vipers here. I mean, they've been coming in tough off of the sidelines and keeping really their team in the game here because they're limiting what the Rogue can do, and they're showing that they can play. And that throw by Pinkerson has Scoggins out wide, but he can't hang on to it nor keep his feet in. So that ball is going to result in a 4th down, 4th and 10.
Levi Smith now a 2-way player, playing a little defensive back there, and great man-man coverage on Martel Scoggins Sr. And his coverage is on point there. He really made life difficult for Scoggins, who would have had a tough catch to make anyway. But 4th down, and we'll see. I mean, the Rogue went for it on 4th down last time, came up 2 yards short. Similar field position here, Caleb, and let's see what they pull out of the hat this time.
Pinkerton in the game. Looks like they're going to bring in their power set of running backs.
Wow, they got some sides of beef behind Pinkerton here.
Looks like 2 Lorenzo Neals.
Yeah, indeed.
So here's Pinkerton at the line. He is going to play action, has some heat. He's going to have to throw on the run. Has Scoggins. That's batted up in the air, and another turnover on downs. The Vipers defense has to be happy because they are competing with a very high-performing offense, and they were unable to get any yards. So great work by the defense in white, Napa Valley Vipers.
That was Levi Smith. They found their man that they want to pick up the main target for this Rogue receiving core, and he was like glue all over Scoggins Sr. that time.
Maybe a call here that will keep the Rogue on the field, maybe a pass interference. It was the near line judge who threw the flag, so he saw the pass and catch, or more particularly the catch. Very close up. You had a good view on it. Let's see what the main official decides. See some.
Rogue is signaling 1st down. I don't know. I mean, it didn't seem to be anything. I mean,
there was no unnecessary or uncalled for contact that I think would delineate a pass interference call here. So I'm not sure if I would agree if that is the correct call, and indeed it is. But so they're moving the ball forward. It looks like it is going to be a 1st down. A 15-yard penalty had to be some type of personal here. Let's see what the call is.
Sideline, unsportsmanlike conduct. Wow.
And
that should be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Maybe a little bit of showboating that we didn't catch here at the tail end of that play, resulting in a very, very costly mistake here. That would have been a turnover on downs, and instead, Rogue's going to take the ball at the 15-yard line. They still have a 1st down to play with if they want it. Yeah, and they're in the red zone.
It's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and that could have come at the worst time for the Vipers, who've done everything right on that drive.
And a big run through an even bigger hole. That's Alan Webster getting the points, getting the stats. And
getting in the end zone.
Well, that's a real body blow for the Vipers because they are off the field after batting down 2 consecutive passes to Scoggins Sr. and then sportsmanlike conduct penalty puts the Rogue offense back on the field. A huge gap over on the left side for Webster, and he's in to the end zone for the touchdown. And now all of a sudden, a potential 13-point lead is looking pretty comfortable for the Rogue.
And the snap's muffed, so he's going to have to try and do it for a 2-point conversion. He's not going to make it in there as number 10. That's Ronnie Smalls.
I think I just jinxed that by saying they're about to take a 13-point lead. But, yeah, the Vipers are going to be kicking themselves. Because defensively, again, that's 2 consecutive possessions now that they've done an outstanding job. And, yeah, they'll really wish they could have that one back.
You know, I think that one just deflated the defensive confidence when they got that call against them. I mean, they had been pumping their confidence up with a bike pump, and finally it got fully inflated and punctured. So slowly but surely, the California Rogue get into the end zone after that run by number 30, Alan Webster. Eating up that big hole, which essentially was from a big, big call for unsportsmanlike conduct. Unfortunately, I didn't have the player who committed the crime.
Well, it's a non-contact type, so it's obviously something was said to either another player or to an official. I mean, I don't think it was anything that happened on the field. But, you know, the officials have a great hearing at times, don't they? And, you know, it's a real shame for the Vipers. Now, the best thing they can do offensively, apart from scoring a touchdown, of course, is try and keep this defense off the field because they've spent a lot of time on the field here in the first half of play and some tired legs out there for sure. So we'll see if the Vipers offense can get something going here.
So here's Darren Jones, number 80, and number 47, Saldivar in the backfield, or not in the backfield, but excuse me, set back to receive this kick. And, you know, I think if it goes to Jones, he's going to want to break away some yardage on this one. We saw him on the far side beat his one-on-one defender. So, you know, he's got some speed. Let's see if it gets kicked to him. A flag on the field already. And you know what? The referees have definitely had their work cut out for him today. Delay of game call. They're going to have to move this one back. So maybe it is the second game of the season, you know, but this many penalty calls is just something that both teams don't want to encounter, and they have. And they've committed the fouls here. So in the second half, I'd like to see those numbers be cut down. Here's the kick. And it's going to be a line drive, going to bounce, and Jones is going to scoop that one up. Now he has time. He can catch it on the run. He's going to try and bounce it out to the left, going to cut up the middle. He has some room, and he's going to take it to about the 49. Couldn't crack the 50-yard line, but up, doing some work, catching it in stride, had some good blocks. He's going to limp to the sideline. I think he just got a little shaken up there, but he'll be back on for offense. Going to take a seat as Smith back to lead the team at about the 50-yard line. Great starting position here. 15-3, they're down, are the Vipers.
Jones did a great job of disguising himself behind the blockers in front of him. Great vision to see that the Rogue players had all committed to the near side. Cut back and got maybe an extra 10, 12 yards out of that return.
And so Gregory Smith going to take the backfield with his 2 teammates. And as they get set, 2 out wide to the far side, 1 to the near. Here's the snap. It looks to be a slow snap, and he's going to catch it on the run. He's not going to outrun that D end. I mean, that's number 19. Don't have a number or a name for him, I believe. And unfortunately, the roster has forgotten to list number 19 after that spectacular play. I mean, he contained, and that's one thing as a defensive end you definitely preach to your guys in practice is contain. Don't bite inside, and he waited, and Smith ran right into the trap.
And they still just don't have an answer to block Chris Little because he was right on the heels of the man who made the sack for the Rogue that time. Every time they come to the line of scrimmage, the Vipers must be really trembling at the thought of the Rogue coming at him.
And a huge hit coming in hot is Dana Woods to make that incompletion. And a great read Eric Weddle read, if you will, to come and make the break on the ball and knock that one incomplete. And one thing that I've just started to kind of pay attention to is the center's timing when he's snapping it to Smith. I mean, it's a slow lob, and he's definitely not getting enough time as it is. So, you want to get that ball to the quarterback as fast as you can. And the past 2 snaps have been kind of slow getting there. So back on the ball, let's take a look here if he can get some time. That one's a little better. He has to set his feet. And he has a man wide open down the field. And that's going to be Kevin Robledo, who's going to backpedal into the end zone. And he is juiced. A miscommunication on the far side with the defense of the California Rogue left him on the far side wide open.
But the pass was intended for 85, Cal Rayner Harris. It went through his hands. It was never touched by a defender, and it falls right into Robledo's hands. He takes it to the house. I mean, you got to love it. That's exactly what the kind of break that the Vipers needed. And, facing a 3rd down and long, all of a sudden now they could be within 5 points.
Back in the game are the Vipers after an exciting play. Maybe not even planned, but, luck of the draw here for them.
They needed the luck to go their way because they've not exactly had the best luck in this first half, but what a break. And what a way to pull back a touchdown.
So Jose Rudy Herrera through the uprights. 15-9. Vipers still trailing here by 6. 15-10 after the PAT, and the Vipers trailing by 5. 6 minutes and 18 seconds left to play here in the first half as the special team units for each side take the field.
Wow. It just goes to show, even if you're not going to be the intended target on the route, if you're still paying attention to the play, you never know what might happen. And love to see the replay there if we've got it, of whether or not it actually went through the receiver's hands, if it was tipped to him, or if it just went right through his hands to the receiver. But either way, the Vipers have a touchdown, and they're back in the game.
And so we're back in this, and that was very exciting. You see, that brought some life to the sideline of the Vipers here. They got a little bit more movement, and now that they got some momentum and some points more so on the scoreboard, they have a little bit of breathing room going into the half. Still a good 6 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. And here's the kick. They got 3.
Oh, it falls off the tee. Just see who's going to kick.
And the wind.
And it's the other thing, too, is that they've had a great turnout here on the home side, and you want to get the fans involved. They haven't had a lot to cheer about so far, but a touchdown's got them right back into this game. And, you want to get this home crowd on your side for sure.
And so the California Rogue special teams unit lined heels at the 20-yard line, going to have to backpedal for this one, and none other than number 12, Jakari Murphy, to field that one. We know he has good vision. He's going to get to about the 35-yard line, where Pinkston and the boys will take the field.
Chris Little Jr. there on special teams, throwing a block right around the 25-yard line, allowing Jakari Murphy to spring an extra 10 yards on that return.
He is a springy runner, isn't he? He's got some good power.
Yeah, I mean, I've been impressed with the Rogue running backs for sure in this game. Whether it's Steele, we've seen from him already with a touchdown in the game. Murphy, we saw Tunica feature a little bit earlier on as well, so they've definitely got
Webster.
some.
Webster had that good one. That
he had a touchdown as well, of course.
Yep. And so trying to bounce it outside, contain, the Vipers will play, and they'll be able to eat that one up. That's number 11, Kane Elliott. And patting him on the helmet is himself, and as he should be after he's getting fired up, making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Is he playing the safety position? Because if so, I mean, he's coming in from way back there, making a great read to break on the ball. The far side, maybe a blitz coming from behind.
And that's given new life to this defense that, to their credit, has kept the Vipers in this game. through the first 20 minutes or so of this contest, and now they have a new lease of life, as the lead is certainly within their team's sights once again.
So it's Pinkston, Webster, and Tunica in the backfield. And that's a pass. They're going to play action. And he hits his teammate on the helmet. Couldn't put it anywhere else for Ryan Jordan, who couldn't put his hands up. That would have hit him in the hands. That reminds me of the Sandlot when Benny the Jet Rodriguez tells Smalls, just put your glove up and I'll put it there. The pass was right there.
And they sold the play action well, and Jordan made a nice run across the middle of the field, but again, perhaps not quite expecting the pass when it arrived, and clanks right off his helmet.
I really like the way Pinkston has stayed composed the entire time. You haven't seen a lot of emotion fluctuation. I mean, when things have been going his way, he's stayed level-headed just as well as he has when things have been at the high point. And I like the way he is and setting his feet, very focused in the game, leading his team by example here. Drops back, has some great time. He's going to find his receiver. That's Scoggins to the near side, going to take a step out of bounds. But once again, I mean, the offensive line for Pinkston, just give them some credit as well. They've been blocking very tough up front. Bunch of big boys up there putting in the work and usually don't get as much recognition. But nonetheless, Pinkston doing a wonderful job at the quarterback as well.
When I talked to offensive coordinator Bill Collin during the week, he said he had no fewer than 9 guys he felt comfortable putting out there in the offensive line. He had a series of starters. He had guys that he felt comfortable substituting in. And as you said, they give plenty of time for Pinkerton to pass. And, I mean, the other thing I've been impressed with him as well is his release is accurate, it's on time, he throws a tight spiral, and a perfect example of it there with the completions to Scoggins Sr.
You know, that is another thing. I mean, his timing that he has, if you look at the way that I believe Gregory Smith is, his timing with his receivers, it hasn't been able to connect quite yet in the game, and Pinkston early on has had that timing down with his teammates. Even you kind of know when they're open on the field, he's going to have the ball coming to you, and number 85 realized just that. That was Ryan Jordan when the ball hit him in the helmet there. But that timing with the California Rogue looks like they've been doing this for years now together. Their chemistry level is very high.
Well, they brought back all their starters from the championship-winning team last season, added some players to the roster as well, and yeah, I mean, you think with an influx of new players, it'd take a little time for them to all get on the same page, but for the most part, they've been functioning as a team, coming up with a big fourth down play now and a couple yards shy of the first.
So new set of running backs. They got 3 there. Power running. They're going to give it to Steele because he has a few yards to do it. But look at the way the Vipers are playing. They're here to compete, and it's going to be a close one. Did Steele try to extend the ball?
I think he's going to be short, surely. Yeah, at least a yard shy.
The Rogue signaling first down. I think they're being optimistic, and they're going to call for a measurement here on the near side. So that means, there's a possibility, depending on the spot. The near side line judge seemed to have a pretty good eye on it, and he was walking back.
But, I mean, if the sticks are in the correct position, I mean, that's clearly a yard shy. I mean, you can see the down marker is right around the 43-yard line or so. The ball, at best, the 42.5-yard line. I think they're going to be short here, surely. I mean, unless the sticks are on the wrong... Yeah, I was going to say... They're on the wrong... Wait, are they? I mean... Yeah, they have to be. There you go. They're well shy of the first down.
Good eye there, Steven. I mean...
I'm looking at where the down marker is and where the ball is. I mean, it's got to be at least a yard. I mean, they were within their rights to ask for a measurement for sure. But, hey, the Vipers' defense, again, you got to give them full credit. They have the bit between their teeth now, and bolstered by the touchdown scored by the offense on the previous possession. I know I might be eating my hat soon if the Vipers take the lead going into the half, but you got to say the Rogue has kind of switched off a little bit offensively. I think they got a little bit too cocky, if you might say, on that couple possessions back, and they haven't been able to move the ball since. And now
Momentum.
It is a game of momentum, no doubt.
Yes, and I think we just cracked the 5-minute mark here in the second quarter, and the Vipers have been doing their thing on defense and competing with the California Rogue. You know, that it may have been the first quarter jitters, and it may have taken them a little while to settle in. They're playing the defending champs. So, you know, I think they've risen to the occasion. Let's see if the offense can match that, as Gregory Smith needs some time. And another early jump. It seemed like Smith going to have to just throw that one up there. It's not smart to do, as number 85 loses his shoe. Be careful he doesn't get stepped on, because he's a valuable player, Kyle Rayner Harris.
And that might have been why he didn't get to the why he wasn't able to get to the ball. I mean, the throw was a little bit rushed for sure. And Chris Little Jr. lucky to get away with a neutral zone infraction that time, as he just stepped back before the ball was snapped.
And so after the huddle, it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball on the 42. Gregory Smith has 2 in the backfield, which have usually been to help block. Linebackers pushing the line. They're going to run it. He's going to have to cut in is Jose Rodriguez. Rodriguez maybe breaks the line of scrimmage, gets one.
Big Mr. Simmons there, making the tackle to bring down Rodriguez, and he's a little slow to get up after the play. Mr. Simmons there, number 79, is a big boy. And Rodriguez is going to get over the sideline here. Limping to the sideline, gets a little assistance from the training staff, but
he looks like he needs some help. Calling for his teammate. He took a rough hit there.
He did.
And I'm not sure. It looks like it's his right leg of some sort. He needed another.
Put weight down on it.
Another elbow. Not smart to try and walk on it after taking a hit from these group of linebackers from the California Rogue. I mean, very, very tough playing group here on both sides. But he is going to be missed. Jose Rodriguez coming to the sideline. Let's hope he's okay early on here in the season. So, no gain on the last play. 3rd down and 10. Gregory Smith, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near, who has some room to play. Smith is just going to throw it up there, and that's intercepted, as it should be, by number 4, Darian Woods. Not even looking at his receiver, just kind of hucking it up there was Gregory Smith, hoping that a prayer would fall.
Yeah, the pass, was, as you said, stayed up too long, and really well read by Darian Woods.
I believe that was the interceptor on that play.
And, I mean, he stepped right in front of Levi Smith and he read the kid. You know, he was the one playing the receiver that time, and that's an
easy catch there for the DB.
The silver lining of it, though, is that the Rogue now start this drive from their own 5-yard line, and the defense perhaps a chance to try and make something happen here.
You know, and I wouldn't rule it past them. I mean, the defense has been playing phenomenally in the second quarter here, and if they can continue what they've been doing on the field and the level of play that they've been matching with the Rogue, then they may come up with a turnover on downs with some pretty good field position if they, as the Rogue's not really been punting. So if the game continues, looks like a new quarterback is in.
Yeah, Scoggins Seniors will play some quarterback. Well, we'll play at the quarterback position at times this season, although Pinkerton is the starter. This is his first time under center today.
Some good footwork shown by him, but he's going to have to throw that out. He drops back pretty quickly. I like to see that in the quarterback position.
Real quick, going back to the interception, it's worth noting that Smith was thrown into the wind. I mean, if we look at the flagpole there at the north end zone, the wind is blowing pretty briskly there north to south, so perhaps it got caught up in the wind there a little bit, that throw.
And that definitely can be a factor. I mean, we're taking a look at the big flag past the the field here. That's blowing the whole thing, and it's pretty significant in size. So there is the win factor. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 5-yard line. California Rogue set as Scoggins here going to do some more quarterbacking. They got Steele in the backfield. Scoggins in the shotgun position. He has 2 receivers to his left and right. Vipers showing blitz here. And another whistle blown. Delay of game, and they're going to move the Rogue back. I don't know how much further you can go. I mean, half the distance to the goal. They're going to be on the 2.5-yard line. So their palms are sweating as they got to do something here. And they're going to bring in the big boys up front, or the Napa Valley Vipers going to try and, punch the gaps there. Because if I was the Rogue, I would probably run it to Steele just to get out of there.
I'm going to go to 3-4 here, it looks like.
2nd down. 12.5 yards to go. Scoggins has some pressure, but he has a man downfield, and he can't throw it to lead him. So the underthrown ball is going to be knocked out of bounds after a great defensive play by Levi Smith. So he has been a phenomenal player for the Vipers thus far.
Yeah, I mean, full credit to him again. I mean, we saw him feature on a drive earlier on, a couple of balls batted away, and then going stride for stride that time with Javier Scooby. And, yeah, now the Rogue once again backed up into their own end zone. 3rd down. They need to get to the 15 for a fresh set of downs. And they got some work to do here. I don't think you can just rely on Scoggins Sr. rolling out and hurling it downfield and hoping that they can find a receiver.
Scoggins still in. Looks like he's going to finish the entire series here. And he's got two men to his left and 2 to his right. The left side has the more room to play with. And they're going to send the receiver in the backfield out. And look at the defense of the Vipers putting some heat on him. Scoggins going to break that tackle. He's got some speed, luckily, to help him. He's going to run into his own player on the far side. Penalty flag on the field. Makes it to about the 10-yard line out of bounds after running into number 85 of his own team. That is Ryan Jordan. Let's see what the call is. So Scoggins showing his speed, helping him out there get out of pressure. But the Vipers showing good things, very promising on that defensive line, on that pass rush. They hadn't let Scoggins have any time on any of the 3 opportunities.
And he had to keep bouncing to the outside to get any yardage. And long chat here between the officials to determine the penalty. The flag was thrown right where they tackled Scoggins. Guess he was pushed out of bounds. Let's see.
I would have liked to see Pinkston stay in. I mean, it seems that Scoggins is a little bit more flustered in the quarterback position. He was doing great things.
Well, the penalty was against the Rogue, was declined, so it's 4th down. And, well, the Rogue, I don't think have any choice but to kick out of their own end zone here.
Scoggins doing good things on the receiver position, and Pinkston was staying real composed. I think Scoggins just showing a little bit of frustration and maybe a little bit of he's just showing he's a little green in that position. So they're going to have to punt this away. Punter about a foot into the end zone. And he's going to have some time. Going to boot that one up to about the 43-yard line. And the Rogue dives on it.
They'll be pleased with that. A pretty decent kick. All things told.
3 minutes, 30 seconds left to play here in the second quarter.
And after a disappointing sequence for the Vipers on that previous possession with the interception capping off what was really excellent field position for the Vipers, they've got enough time on the clock here with 3.5 minutes remaining to drive downfield, try and run some time off the clock, and perhaps despite things that have happened in the first half and then general struggles moving the ball, to go into the halftime break with the lead. 1st and 10, Napa Valley from their own, or from the Rogue 42-yard line. Trips bunch right side. Offset running backs to each side of Smith. No receivers to the left side. They hand off to the running back. That is Zachary Ross Goodwill. And he'll get tackled for a loss of a couple of yards. Brings up a 2nd down. Clock ticking down towards the 3-minute mark remaining in this first half. An entertaining clash between the Rogue and the Vipers. A loss of 3 on the carry by Ross Goodwill. And the struggles that the Vipers have had over the last 2 possessions continue now on the 2nd down and 13 play.
So 2nd and 13, we just cracked the 3-minute mark. 2-minute warning is going to be coming up here in about 50 seconds. Gregory Smith's going to want to use as many plays as he can before he gets that free timeout. Here's the snap. Drops back. No time, but he steps in the pocket to buy him some, and he underthrows his receiver. That was number 4, Kevin Robledo, who was essentially beat his defender on that route. It was like a comeback route. Had some time, but the ball was just underthrown. I like to see Gregory step in the pocket like he did there, but just set his feet and take the time to throw.
Yeah, and Woods, Robledo just couldn't cut back to the ball in time. Darian Woods was playing him a little loose on the coverage, and Robledo already with a touchdown on the day, and you gotta see him becoming the go-to receiver here for Gregory Smith, and those guys have got to be on point with their communication in the rest of the game.
It's a challenging throw, a cross-body throw for Smith, but nonetheless, I mean, that's his go-to receiver, as you just said. And look at the Rogues stacking the line, and the Vipers unable to do anything there. I mean, they're just getting collapsed, and they need some help offensively. So going into the locker room, 2 minutes and 33 seconds to go here in the second quarter, what are you going to tell your offense? I mean, how do you get something started here, Steven? If you're going in, what do you tell them?
Well, I mean, as long as the Rogue continue to stack the box like we just saw, I mean, every time they've done it more or less, they've made the Vipers uncomfortable, and maybe get a 2 tight end set, take a running back out, maybe split a receiver off to each time, and they got to get some more men up on the line of scrimmage there. They definitely
need more time, and they put 2 backs in that shotgun set to help block in that pass formation. And it should be noted as well that when those linebackers are coming up, it's one-on-one coverage usually with these outside receivers, and these receivers have had their defenders beat, and more times than not, the passes have just fallen short or long, but not in the hands of the receivers. And so, if they get the ball able to be, an accurate pass in the air, I think that they're going to get something started. So I think where it starts for the Vipers is getting that pass protection in that time.
I don't see them putting Smith under center and having him drop him back and looking to throw, though, anytime soon either. So
some tough decisions on the coaching staff of the Vipers to get something started here.
The Rogue is stacking one side of the line or the other, so they put in 2 linebackers, depending on the play call, and that's where they're getting overpowered. I don't think it's in the man-to-man matchup at the line of scrimmage. I think it's they overload one side or the other, and that's what's making things difficult for the Vipers. But
having to readjust.
But again, I mean, the defense is playing great. They're keeping this team in the game. There's still half of football to go. The Vipers will receive the ball to start the second half. So, I mean, if they can, obviously they're going to kick here on 4th and long, but if they can keep the Rogue off the board the rest of this first half, I mean, they're going to feel pretty good about going into the locker room and coming out for the second half of play.
Long snap, Mike Ortega to boot that one. It's another line drive, going to go straight into the hands of number 99. He's going to bounce it out to his near side to the line. He has no one, and he's throwing on the Jets. Chris Little Jr. in the end zone.
Well, he's shown he could do it all, right? I mean, he's had an outstanding game defensively, and, I had a chance to chat with him in the practice before the start of the year, and he's a guy who can do it all. He plays a little receiver as well, and then just flashing the speed, and he's a big guy. I mean, you're not going to drag him down on one-on-one when he's at full speed.
And I don't think the punter, Mike Ortega, would have had any luck if he had him one-on-one either. So, I mean, Chris Little getting in the end zone, doing what he needs to. 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Returned punt. Special teams very pleased on that play. 21-10. Rogue up.
And that's the commentator's jinx, right? I say if the Vipers can get into the half, trailing by 5, and on the very next play, Little takes it to the house to make it potentially a 22-10 lead. And again, I jinx it because the kicker misses the extra point, and that was a strange-looking sequence there. A lob, slow snap, and then looked like he sliced it. Perhaps?
Yeah, no, the Rogue didn't. The kicker 00. We don't have a name for him, unfortunately. He didn't have the approach as far back. Usually, he would take 2 steps back or 3 steps back and 1 to the side. That one, it was just a 1-step approach, and so I think they were trying something new, being up 21-10. I don't know if I see the Rogue being too confident here. I'm not sure if that was a confidence play, but the defense of the Vipers have been phenomenal and rising to the occasion to play with this great team of the California Rogue. So I wouldn't get too confident. Well, 9 of the points have come from special teams touchdown and then a safety. So if you take those points away from it, it's still a pretty close game. But that's a body blow again for the Vipers now, even though they will have possession here and to start the second half of play. And so 2 set back to receive the kick. The ball's going to probably land around the 25, and it does, and that's a bounce. Number 47 is going to field this. Doesn't have as good a blocking as he would have liked, so he's going to make do with what he has. It's Nelson Saldivar making it to the near side, right around the 33-yard line.
And I don't think Saldivar had much choice but to snag that one and take off running, because Darren Jones had already reached full speed, and he was looking to pick that out of the air. He might have had a better chance with some openings there in the middle of the field, but either way, the Rogue have about 67 yards or so to go, and 2 minutes and 14 seconds to do it. Because that 15-10 scoreline at the half looks a lot better than being down 21-10. Let's see if they can pull something together here on offense and close the gap before the end of the half.
So the Vipers have a few plays if they want it before the 2-minute warning, and only 1 timeout left. So it could work in their favor of the clock stop at the 2-minute mark. And Gregory Smith to snap 2 in the backfield. He has time. He sets his feet. He throws it, and there's a push-off. No call. And number 80 grabs that one and steps out of bounds to stop the clock. Darren Jones on that big reception, arguing is the California Rogue defenseman for the PI call offensively, but not going to get it. Moving the chains. Clock stopped. 2 minutes and 6 seconds left. Another play if they wanted before the 2-minute warning. But a huge play. Underthrown ball. Another lucky. You look shocked.
I don't know what to say, because he pushed the guy over. It wasn't like he just pushed him out the way, but the guy felt, the defensive back. The first down. What can you say?
Gregory Smith into the pocket. Now he has some room, and I'm not sure the miscommunication. I think they tried to call for his other teammate. That was Kyle Rayner Harris yelling to his teammate Kevin Robledo, catch the ball, and the outstretched Robledo unable to do that.
Well, it worked on the touchdown, but it didn't work on the out route that time. And, I think even the home fans were surprised that they got away with that completion. But a big throw nonetheless, and, Smith put it on target to Darren Jones. So, the Vipers are in business in the Rogue half of the field and under 2 minutes to go.
Kyle Rayner Harris sporting the V-neck. Got a big rip in his jersey. Here's Smith with the quick drop back and throw as Jones gets tripped up, tries to roll. Now he wants the pass interference call, and he's not going to get that.
He's not going to get that one, I don't think, because that time Horns looked like, as you said, tripped him up. I don't think it was intentionally, but
no, I think even on the first play, I think their legs are getting tied up together, and then the end result looks as if somebody's pushing off, but it's more of a trying to catch your balance stabilization thing. A common happening between that one-on-one coverage when you're stride and stride, heads up, you don't know where your feet are, getting tangled up there. So let's see here. Gregory Smith, 1 minute 38 left on the clock, and he's going to get sacked and suplexed.
Wow.
And
now he might get called for unsportsmanlike because a little overenthusiastic there, wrapping Smith up, and as you said, suplexing him to the ground. That was
personal foul, face mask call on the Rogue. That one's going to bring it forward. Number 19, who would have had that good sack. Unfortunately, he also is not on our roster for the Rogue, but sack doesn't count. So moving the ball forward.
Not enough for a first down, though. Is it an automatic first? No, it should be third down still.
Third down. About 5 yards to go.
Oh, another big third down play here, 3rd and 6. It's under 90 seconds to go in the half.
2 to the near side, 1 to the far. Gregory Smith. And their hesitation by number 19 buys him some extra time. That's Zachary Ross Goodwill. They've set him just a block in the backfield for the entire game, and now he finally gets a touch, and he has a hesitation step at the hole, makes a defender miss, and clears up some big room as he picks up a first down and much more. Ball about the 10-yard line, but the clock stopped for the chains to move. They're going to bring it back in unless they called a timeout. I don't believe they did.
There's a flag on the play, and that might be the biggest run from scrimmage. It's a personal foul. Offset? No, against the Rogue. Okay.
Not sure what the call was, but a personal foul nonetheless. A face mask call, keeping the Vipers alive, and a huge, huge run by Ross Goodwill.
Oh, what an end to the first half we have here potentially.
And he is a decent-sized running back as well, and I liked the way he hit the hole there.
I think he's getting a little chippy out there in the.
I see the same, Steven. And at this stage in the game, a minute left in the first half, you got to stay composed. It's not even you still got another half to play. You don't want him to make any brash decisions. Ball at the 10-yard line now, going to go back 5. False start, I believe that was.
And you say that about the Rogue, but also now the Vipers, they have to keep their focus now.
Absolutely.
Things heating up here in the final minutes, and the Vipers, after giving up the punt return touchdown, now have a chance to claw one back.
Clock's digging down. 40 seconds remaining here, just about. And Gregory Smith gets the ball. He has some time. He's going to throw the slant route, and I'm not sure why his receiver, that was Jones, I believe, number 80, Darren Jones, didn't make the hard slant route. You need to stay on that line when you run that route, and that's a basic fundamental in the slant route. You can't veer off, and you need to continue, but the scary linebackers made him tiptoe maybe.
Stephen Thompson was the linebacker that had his hands up there, and that might have just thrown Smith off his timing on the route.
Timeout taken by the Napa Valley Vipers, and they may need that. They've been driving, and their offense has been on the field, getting stuff started with a few assistant penalties to help them.
A huge assistant penalty.
to help move the chains for them.
What do you mean?
Yeah, a few good ones. 35 seconds left to play. 21-10 is the Vipers in white trail to the California Rogue in black.
The thing is, the Rogue could have been off the field because that sack was on. Was it 4th down?
I think
that
was
3rd or 4th down, and I mean they're looking then at the 4th and long. They're out of field goal range. They're looking at least like a 55-yard kick, and then with the penalty, and then the subsequent pass, the Vipers are right back in business. So the Rogue now really want to get out of this half without allowing any sort of Vipers points. I mean they're definitely within field goal range here. They've got 2 downs, and they got 35 seconds to do it.
2nd down and goal. Gregory Smith, 2 in the backfield. They're going to use all of their extra men on the line to give some time to block, and Darren Jones out wide to the near side. Smith, shotgun formation. He gets the snap, and that's a slant route. He's going to try and huck it over. Intercepted into the end zone. Not sure what he was thinking or what he saw into the triple coverage. And guess who that was? Number 99 for California Rogue, Chris Little Jr.
So he's got a pick, punt return for a touchdown. He's got a sack in the game so far. And, yeah, there's been some, that's the second interception now in just the last few minutes of game time now for the Vipers. And, that's a shame because they should have had at least 3 points on their possession.
And, Little is doing a lot.
Yeah, he is.
He is all over the field.
He's a guy that guys play in the semi-pro ranks to try and get looks, to try and get to that next level. And
Scouts, where are you at?
Yeah, definitely. We've seen him do it in the special teams game and defensively today as well. So,
Chris Little Jr., Chris Little Jr. for the California Rogue Scouts. If you're not watching, you should. And so they're going to keep Scoggins at the quarterback position, get him some reps here. He has about 27 seconds left. He's getting the snap. He's dropping back, has more than enough time, has as much time. He's going to huck it deep. He has an arm.
Goodness me.
And he throws it. Unfortunately, he couldn't get it to his receiver accurately. That was number 12, who was the intended receiver, Jakari Murphy. But, oh my goodness, Martell Scoggins has an arm.
That's 55 yards downfield through the air. And that wasn't that far away from being a completed pass.
And now I see the reasoning behind taking out Pinkston and putting in Scoggins. He definitely deserves some touches. He has some ability there, and maybe he can fine-tune that early on in the season so that midway he has everything dialed, and he'll be able to make that 55-yard completion through the air.
It's a luxury to have an accurate quarterback like Pinkerson, who I thought has been pretty impressive in the first half. And have a guy like Scoggins that can just air it out.
And so here is Scoggins. He's going to take the snap. Has some time, extra defenders. They're going to be in like the quarter or dime form package here for the Vipers, just taking all DBs off the sidelines and putting them into the game to prevent anything. 9 seconds left, almost 10.
Steele wanted a flag there, and I think it was. I think he had a good shout for it there because Miguel Figueroa was all over him, and definitely looked like some pushing and shoving from Figueroa.
So you got your hands team on a kick return, and here you got your DB team on the defense for the Vipers. You got 2 men rushing, and the rest of any skilled player will be on the field. You can bet to prevent a touchdown. And
I think they're only rushing 2 right now.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Dropping 9 back in pass coverage, but.
Well, Daniel Dolan and number 0 for the Vipers are linebackers essentially, but look to be rushing. Maybe going to rush 3 on this one. Trips right, 1 to the left, and Scoggins is getting approached fast from the back. He's going to run out of bounds as they play the pursuit game. Time's going to stop. 3 seconds left on the clock. I think that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, he's going to be shy about 4 or 5 yards.
So the smart thing to find the sideline, get out of bounds, and allow the offense one more play before the clock comes to a stop. And so the defense playing super deep. Heels on the 50-yard line for the safeties, maybe even a bit further back. And the Rogue going to take a little bit extra time in the huddle, make sure everybody's on the same page. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a hard count here. But let's not rule that out. Scoggins immediately running to the sideline, and they're going to just give him some blocking downfield. He just wants to go. He's going to get leg tackled on the far side by number 51. And that'll be the end of the first half. The tackler was Miguel Figueroa. We're CoachesAid.com, the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network. This is the Napa Valley Vipers and the California Rogue, who lead 21-10 going into the halftime.
This new Egg White Delight McMuffin is really good.
And it's 260 calories.
Maybe there are other ways we can better ourselves.
5, 6, 7. Don't give up. Push. Push.
Hey guys, you coming to Ab Annihilation?
Yeah.
Yay.
McDonald's new Egg White Delight McMuffin. 100% egg whites and melted white cheddar on a muffin made with 8 grams of whole grain. The simple joy of a new morning.
Yes! 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 We did it! Yes, we did! Yeah, see you, bud.
Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Five oceans. 7 continents. Whatever it takes. Wherever it takes us. America's Navy. A global force for good.